Hi everyone, and welcome to the video on the fourth key fundamental skill set. So this is a very important skill set to learn how to do. So in this video, I'm going to show you how it's done right, how it's done wrong, and you're going to notice for yourself that if you keep doing things wrong, you're going to struggle, and your dog's experience while being with you and training with you won't be very good and won't be very pleasant, all right? So what is the fourth key fundamental? It's called turning properly and timely. And it allows us to make it easy for our dogs to be with us and to follow us. And remember, we're focusing on the fourth key fundamental right now, but all 7 key fundamentals work in combination. So in order to do the fourth key fundamental properly, there are 2 key points that we need to be aware of and that we need to do properly. Number 1 is you need to be moving your body and your legs behind the dog's butt and keeping your shoulders pointed at your dog. In other words, do not spin your back to the dog and do not do a big U-turn. This is going to cause unnecessary leash pressure. Okay, I'll show you examples of how this is done right and wrong, and you'll see the difference for yourself right away. So turning properly equals go behind the dog's butt. Notice how I'm going to turn here in the hallway. I'm going to back up, go behind the dog's butt. Okay, it's a narrow hallway and there's not a lot of room, but when it's time to turn, I back up and I go behind the dog's butt. This makes it so that when the dog turns, we're not in the dog's way anymore. Okay, so notice I go backwards behind the dog's butt and I stay away from the dog's body and I handle myself with good leash mechanics. Good, good, good. Rosie, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good. So when I turn, I go behind her bum, right? This way, you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a very thin hallway, but I go backwards behind the dog's butt and there's plenty of room for both the dog and I to walk up and down this hallway by me going backwards behind the dog's butt. Have a listen to how I explain to these owners. We look at the dog's head, we look at the dog's butt, and then we go behind the dog's butt, all the while keeping our shoulders and our attention pointed at the dog. Have a listen. So like, number 4 is how we turn. So everybody turns the way you do, which is that they're walking and then they go like this because they're turning, right?
Yeah.
But now look, I'm not even looking at the dog sees my back.
Right.
So what we want to do instead is this. You see his head?
Yeah.
See his bum?
Yeah.
See behind the bum? That's where I'm going. I'm going right there, you see there?
Yeah.
Behind the bum, but to get there, I'm gonna stay away from his body, right? So I'm not gonna bump into him, and I'm never gonna spin this way. So for example, look, I'm going this way. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. And then when he turns, I'm not in the way anymore. And when it's time to turn, I'm gonna look at the dog, engage the dog, keep a slack leash, move backwards, but look at my shoulders and my eyes. I'm still facing the dog. My attention is completely on the dog. I love this example because there are 2 yellow lines in the middle of this parking lot, and I told the owners, you and the dog have to stay inside of those 2 yellow lines. So look how well he did. When he starts to back up, he keeps his shoulder and his eyes focused on the dog. He doesn't spin his back to the dog. That's good leadership, everyone. So it's very important to do it properly. Here I'm going to tell an owner that when it's time to turn, do not turn away from the dog. You just back up and then go behind the dog's butt, okay? Back up and go behind the dog's butt. Have a listen. Okay, watch this, watch this. So here's the trick, okay? When it's time to turn right, I'm going to stand right next to you. Don't touch me. You're supposed to back up and go that way, away from me. Don't turn towards me. Just back up towards the fence here. Back up towards the fence. Yeah, and just keep your hands smooth. Yeah, there you go. Now walk. Now let's have a look at owners doing this improperly and incorrectly, and let's see what that looks like. And then, yeah, yeah. So when people turn incorrectly, they're going to spin their backs to the dog and drag the dog around them. Look where she's facing. Her toes are pointing directly towards us. Her shoulders are pointing directly towards us, and she's already beginning to add leash pressure. She's supposed to be looking at the dog with her shoulders somewhat pointed at the dog, okay? She needs to be luring the dog, but you can't lure the dog if you have your back to the dog, okay? Whoa. Okay. So this owner is going to spin away from the dog, and look where she ends up. That space in between her shoes and the wall is the only place that the dog can actually go in order to come back down the hallway. If she would have backed up behind the dog's butt, it would have been very easy for the dog to turn because the dog would have had the whole hallway to itself. And when you look at the owner's shoulders and her attention is pointing in her living room, and notice the dog. The dog is actually behind her. The entire dog's body is behind her shoes. Her attention is nowhere on the dog, which is not good. Okay, now. So once again, she should have backed up and gone towards the grass, but she takes 1 step towards the road, then the dog has to sneak between her shoe and the road, and then the dog gets a lot of leash pressure and all that kind of stuff. That's not how we want to do it. Okay. Now that was you with your body. So same here, she should have backed up towards the grass and she walks towards the road, and that's the only spot that the dog can go. So the dog starts to go towards it, but then gets yanked around everywhere. And the dog just jumps out on the street, and then all this leash pressure and all this chaos happens, okay? This is not how we want to turn properly with our dogs. So here her hand's ahead of her and she's swinging the dog around her. She's not looking at the dog, she turned her back to the dog, and she didn't go behind the dog's butt. And then the dog has to pay the price with all that leash pressure, and then the two of them are getting all tangled up. This is not ideal at all. So when people do a U-turn or a half a circle, the dog has to take the long way all around you and will usually end up getting some leash pressure, which is not ideal. Now notice where she's standing. She's standing on the tiles and he's walking on the wood, and she's already turning her back towards the dog. He's completely behind her and her feet are pointing towards the center of the kitchen, which she's then going to walk towards. She's going to walk towards the middle of the kitchen, and look where she places her foot. She's going to place her right foot right by the island, and that's the only spot that the dog can go. The only spot that the dog can walk is in between her foot and the island. And guess what he's going to do? He's going to go and sneak behind her because it's easier for him that way. And then the two of them are going to get all tangled up with the leash, and then the dog ends up receiving all that uncomfortable leash pressure. Don't do a U-turn. Alright, so I hope you see the difference when turning properly, okay? You go backwards behind the dog's bum like this. Do not spin away from the dog like this, where your shoulders and your attention is completely off the dog. Don't spin away from the dog, because then the dog has nowhere to go except get all tangled up and stuck with you, okay? And the second point is keep a distance from your dog's body when turning. All right, don't back up into your dog's back legs or step on their feet. So we want to keep a distance from the dog's body when turning. Otherwise, we could step on their feet or hit their legs. Go. So you don't want to stay too long. So notice how she wasn't looking and she ended up hitting the dog's leg right there. So it's important that we watch the dog and we keep a distance away from the dog's body when turning. Whoa, okay, so you just hit his leg there.
What?
Okay, so you just bumped into his leg there. Whoa, you're almost kicking his back legs. And just come back now, just come back. Oh, but don't walk into his butt. So, okay, so you almost stepped on his feet there. Oh, but don't turn so close to his back legs there, like you almost stepped on his foot. Oh, you almost stepped on his foot there.
Really?
Yeah. So we want to keep a distance away from the dog's body as we're walking backwards and heading towards the back of their bum. Don't go close to the dog's body. Yeah, so like walk straight and don't touch his back paws, and then come back. There you go. Yes, perfect. Look at his back legs. Don't step on them. There you go. Stay away from him.
Good boy.
Perfect. So like my right knee's right here. Okay, so just watch my right knee. I stay away from his body. Look how much space there is from my knee to him. It's not like this, okay? Look how far my leg and her body is. There's like 1.5 feet. There's like 2 feet of space between me and her. So a lot of people turn like this. They go like way too close to the dog. And sometimes they step on the dog's feet. I'm like, guys, keep your distance away from the dog. God. So this is a big dog and he has a long body. I want to make my way behind his tail, but he has a long body. So I first have to walk backwards as if I'm putting my car in reverse. Put your car in reverse and keep facing straight. Notice how I'm still facing straight because I'm walking alongside his long body. And then I start making my way behind his tail and I stay away from his body. And look how my shoulders and my eyes are still looking at him. I'm engaging him. Don't spin your back away from the dog. Do it right. Now let's have a look at your homework that I want you practicing right now with a leash on the floor and with your imaginary dog, like this. So put your leash on the floor like you see right there. So I'm going to be walking on this side with my imaginary dog walking on this side. And when it's time to turn, all I do is I switch lanes with the dog. And in order to get to that side, I have to walk backwards towards the empty space behind the dog's bum, but also staying away from the dog by at least like 6 inches, okay? Stay away from the dog's shoulders, stomach, and back legs. Do not go near the dog. A lot of people start almost kicking the dog. because they do something like this. If the dog is here, they go to turn and they almost kick the dog. They go, you see that? They go immediately where the dog was, and then the dog almost gets like stepped on or something. When you're walking, look at your dog's body. Your dog might be a little dog or a big dog, right? Look at your dog's body from head to bum. Go behind the bum. I go backwards towards the space behind her ass, her bum.
Okay.
But I do not touch her body. I don't try and go right behind her tail like here, okay? Because then like I'll step on her feet. So I stay away from her body. Let's go, good girl. Look at the space between me and her.
Okay.
Let's go, good girl. But keep your attention focused on the dog. So here's what I mean. The dog is next to me, I'm looking at the dog, and when it's time to turn, I go like this. And of course, every time I turn, I flow back towards the camera. Watch how I flow back towards the camera. And notice how my first two little steps are still in my lane. I'm still on this side when I take one or two little steps. So put the leash on the floor, take little baby steps in your lane, and then make your way towards the empty space behind the dog's bum, and also constantly be flowing back towards the camera like this. And I'm still flowing towards you. A lot of my clients are too mechanical and they take these big steps and it doesn't flow. There's no grace to it. For example, here's what a lot of my clients do. They overthink it and there's no flow back this way. You want to flow back this way. So whenever you're ready, practice this right now. Put a leash on the floor and practice turning properly with your imaginary dog. Film yourself so that you can see how you flow and how you move, okay? And get used to these motions because you're not used to it. So thank you very much for watching this video on the fourth key fundamental skill set, which is turning properly. And there are 3 more skill sets coming up immediately after this one, and the last one's the most important, okay? The 7th key fundamental skill set is the most important. So I'll see you in the next video in the course, and thank you for watching.